Hi guys, welcome back to another video. We're gonna check out what is the final puzzle. It's this one here. The final puzzle that tells you exactly what to do and how to do it. Let the sweet pair hear the voice. You get 20,000 completion points if you do that, which is what I need to get Leon's Infinite RPG. Alright, it says here, easily Resident Evil Requiem biggest mystery. It has a challenge that only becomes visible after you complete the game. To unlock the names and descriptions of all the challenges in the main menu. It is the very last challenge on the list, this one there, and it was 20,000 completion points for completing it. However, the only description it gives and your only starting clue is let the sweet pair hear the voice. With not much to go on starting to piece together this puzzle, instead relies on finding certain anomalies and unsolved mysteries found during the course of the game itself. As these individual mysteries are brought together, a common theme will begin to emerge. In this guide, we will start at the beginning and move through all the important pieces. So let's see how we can do this. Step 1 is how to gather the sweet pair. This section has been solved thanks to those using, in essence, the true sweet pair mentioned in the main clue refers to the two girls, test subjects, Emily and Marie. However, there's no actual way to bring them together in a way that makes sense. So instead you will need to find a surrogate for one of them, which is a doll. Getting the doll is no easy task, as it involves a fairly complex plan that's only hinted about a few different notes. There are two such dolls you can normally find in the game. One is in Marie's cell in the medication room, and the second in the basement cell where Emily is kept. The basement. Okay? That is underneath the daycare center, the basement cell. However, neither can be permanently picked up or carried. The first big clue comes in the form of the subject 170 record found in the research lab under the care center's courtyard. It mentions that the sample of blood was given to Marie collected from 115 infected zombies, that is, infected zombies. So this is what you're going to have to do. It says exactly down here what you have to do. Getting the doll involves replicating this process in a very strange way. There happens to be a place where infected zombies are processed to gather their blood. The basement. In a fresh playthrough, which I already have started. I started a fresh playthrough on casual. You need to make your way to the basement's processing area, where an endless conveyor belt drops bodies into a giant bloody vat, which is this one here. Yeah, there it is. Then you need to wait for those 115 infected to be processed, which appears to take 15 minutes. So you're gonna have to put a timer on your cell phone. If you have a timer on there, you can press that and let it run for 15 minutes. Currently, there doesn't seem to be any way around this except by waiting in the room for that long before turning the valve, which is the valve right here, to drain the blood. So you're gonna have to wait 15 minutes, which is exactly, what did they say, 115 infected. So you're gonna have to let 115 infected zombies run into the blood vat here, which takes 15 minutes according to them, and then you have to drain all that. You have to drain the blood. And here it is. So let's see what else it says down here. Once that is done, save your game on a nearby typewriter. There's a typewriter back here somewhere. So once that is done, you have to save the game on a nearby typewriter, and then enter the drained processing pool and survive the meat grinder sequence. The users who first solved this puzzle have claimed through the data mining, the game will check that you do not kill any of the zombies. So you're not allowed to kill any zombies while you're here in the meat grinder. You can shove them in here, but you're not allowed to kill them because the game will check if you have killed any zombies, and if you have killed a zombie, it won't work. You can blow them in the kneecap or shove them into the grinder. Just don't deal any finishing blows. After the grinder sequence, I might use my infinite knife for this. Once you get out of the vat, find the lever on the nearby wall and pull it to drain the vat. And you'll get a message prompt saying how much blood was drained. If you're on the right track to getting the Marie's doll, the prompt will significantly say a ton of blood flowed out. If the prompt instead says a lot of blood flowed out, that means you're not going to get the Marie doll and need to reload your save game and restart the grinder sequence. Alright. So you need to reload your save game to start this process over again. The meat grinder. Alright, however, this process of 115 infecting is apparently not enough. You will also need to trigger an act which moves this blood over to the research lab under the courtyard in an event stranger sequence flushing the toilet. Which is here, you have to flush this toilet 8 times. You can see the number 8 is smeared onto the wall here. You will find that report at the start of the game when you're investigating all the reports. At the start of the game, you will find this. It will say it'll be page 4 of 8. Prior to this incident, multiple cases of similar mysterious deaths have been reported in locations across the USA. So you're going to have to flush a toilet 8 times, which will move the blood right over to the lab, right? Where does it say? I think it says it up here somewhere. Anyway, alright, this means that once you escape the care center basement and done with the process, you need to go to the care center's bathroom here and flush a toilet here 8 times. You have to go to the bathroom and flush the toilet 8 times in the West Wing. If these conditions are all met, you are free to leave the daycare center. Note that you do not need to start on the second half of the puzzle concerning the voice, nor do you need to pick up the severed hand after escaping. Alright, head through the secret research facility until the self-destruct sequence is activated. Grace will make her way through 2 large facility rooms, one full of infected, and you can spray with disposal tanks to explode, and the second large room along the escape route that is full of blister heads where the giant blood tank explodes. And then you will find this doll here. It is in the second room where the explosion is, where you have the escape route. You can pick this doll up and put it in your inventory. It is in the second room. It explodes. You can make your way to the stairs where you will find Marie's doll. So that is Marie's doll right here, if all of the previous conditions have been met. You can register here on this site, and you can check for your progress here as well. Create a free account or log in. You can track your progress there as well. Alright, well, it's true that at this point in the game you cannot return to the care center to solve the other half of the puzzle. The description on Marie's doll that reads, "We'll be together forever and ever," is actually relevant. If you continue this playthrough and beat the game with Marie's doll in your item box, it will still be there when start a second playthrough. So you have to start a second playthrough with Marie's doll in your inventory. Alright, step 2. How to hear the voice. In the second half of the puzzle takes place back in the daycare center. However, because the complete puzzle can only be solved during a subsequent playthrough, you will want to have completed the first section before doing this part. The clues that point to the voice are a little more straightforward, through some clues that can be found later in the game. How to use the severed hand. After escaping the Rhoda Hill Chronic Care Center basement with Emily, Grace will narrowly avoid the clutches of the certain enemy who will leave behind a severed hand next to the elevator just off the first floor of the center of the hall. Grace can pick it up with this item, which appears to serve no purpose, as it offers no benefits and doesn't unlock any doors or solves visible puzzles. However, the severed hand does have a hidden use. Okay. If Grace takes the severed hand to one of the laser microscopes to analyze a blood sample either in the East Wing's blood lab or West Wing's office, you can choose to offer up the severed hand to be analyzed. It will present you with the same atom activation puzzle as one of the previous blood samples. It will give you this clue there. However, when you solve it, instead of a recipe, you'll be treated to a screen showing the following words down here. Let's play. The sequence shown appears to mimic the RNA sequence, but within it lies a code to be solved. We know this because one major change that happens only after you scan the severed hand. In the Leeds researcher's office on the second floor of the East Wing, you can approach the safe that held the sun quartz and find that you can still input a code by tapping sun, moon, stars symbols. It stands to the reason that each of the symbols may refer to one of the letters in the RNA sequence, but finding out what each one represents is another puzzle. Okay, let's see how you can solve this. To begin solving this, we need to look at another strange items without a clear purpose. The hourglass. You will find that when you leave the daycare center, where you have to find the key. In that area, not long after you escape the care center, Grace will head into a strange VIP suite past the courtyard and uncover a room that holds a secret in its center when the correct items is placed in it. There's the hourglass. While searching, you can find an hourglass on the main desk that can be removed from its base and placed in your inventory. However, trying to use it to solve the puzzle in this room reveals that it's simply too big. Curiously, when you do solve the puzzle, the hourglass remains in your inventory. And here you can see 380,000, which means 380,000. We're going to read what it says down here. If you inspect the hourglass, even while it's still attached to its base, you will find that manipulating the object in 3D actually causes the sands to fall down. When you do this, you can spot a small message along the bottom of the inside of the base, revealed only when the sands fall away. You will see this, which means, since we know these letters somehow refer to the moon, star, and sun, you can begin checking the numbers against known scientific facts. It happens the moon is roughly 380,000 kilometers from the Earth. Thus, moon, you. So, 380,000 kilometers away is the moon from the Earth. You can also check it here. Two other letters have similar codes hidden elsewhere, but you'll need to know where to look. I know where to look already. I know where this is. This is the place where you have to find the key for the helicopter. It's right here, in this area. Just before you go and find the key, you will find this where it says the information about this. Further into the research facility below the Care Center's courtyard, you can come upon Grace Ashcroft's blood analysis report, a file found just before the lab with a helicopter. In it, the very last entry reads, it's this one here, Grace Ashcroft's blood analysis report, C equals 4.2 light years, which means, since we already know this from the first clue, was the distance to the moon. We can now look at other scientific facts covering the distance of the celestial bodies. The distance to the nearest star that is not the sun happens to be 4.2 light years away. That's pretty cool information. For the third letter, it has actually been hiding in front of you since you started this puzzle. You need to only look at the side of the laser microscope in the blood lab in the Care Center's East Wing to find a sticker tucked away that reads this. Here. A bit of research will confirm its relation to the last celestial body on our list. The Sun is around 150 million kilometers from the Earth. Yeah, that is the Sun, and it's 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. We now know the three codes and how they relate to this puzzle, but we're still missing one letter, and that one is the most confusing of all. But this one is a new puzzle. It's the bobblehead puzzle. So I'm going to end it here. We will check out the bobblehead puzzle in part 2. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Maybe you have done this puzzle already. If not, check out the video and then you can solve this puzzle just by watching this video. Thanks for watching and bye bye.